So far I've taken up the role as a CPO. I'm trying to self-learn quite a lot
Mm.
because this is for me.
Finding it, what would you say are the areas that you struggle with, more in?
Um, I think what it is so it's my first startup,
Mm.
and straight away I got involved in a cancer diagnostic startup. So
Yeah, they throw
I
you
think
throw you into the deep end.
yeah.
What are the
Mm.
gaps that you think you want to work on?
Um, so there's a lot. So my role in general is like the lean startup methodology, which is like when I interview as many clinicians or gynecologists as I can to make sure the product that the CEO and CTO that they're making is worth making, essentially.
What stage is the startup at? Is it like the MVP stage, or like you said?
So it's very early stage. In about a week or so, we'll be going into it full time, working on the MVP. But obviously, there's worries that maybe we shouldn't even been doing that because we still need to interview more people.
Like the good thing is you can have like a really great background when it comes to the health side of things, and actually knowing like cancer and what you want to build and that space and the industry. I think the main thing that I've just hearing about it is more on like the business side. How do you turn all this knowledge when it comes to the theory of the medical part into an actual revenue generating business? Because that's what I see a lot, is a lot of founders who they've got experience in all the theory side of things and all the industry side of things, but they don't know how to actually go and build profitable business. Like 90% of startups fail. 3 out of 4 funded companies fail. So it does, like, this is a common I guess problem in the space. And I would say I feel confident because I'm lucky to be partners with people who have built so many companies that it's like they're very they do it for sport, not for survival. So I was talking to one of our marketing basically guys, and the one
Mm-hmm.
thing that he always advises is to do pre-sales. I'm sure you guys are clear on what the problem is, what is who's your target audience, and how you're going to solve it. If you have an idea of what does the platform, like what is the solution to the problem, it's like is a product platform, or are you still in the research phase of building what that looks like?
So it's a lateral flow test, so we're allowed to say that.
You have the research, you have the ND side of things, you know what the solution is, um, and what is she worried about then?
Probably, she does say that things like we shouldn't think about VC so early on, and I agree.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I'm against VCs. As a venture studio, like my partner sit with 2 of the biggest LPs, and
Mm.
after the SVB crash, they're not interested to invest in VCs anymore, because the problem with VCs is that even if like like 3 out of 4 funded companies fail. So even if a founder goes and raises funds from a VC, there isn't enough value add, and they still go and fail anyway. So for the investors, for the family offices that invest in the VCs, they're losing their money. So we
Mhm.
work directly with these people, and what we are building is basically the new standards to replace VCs, avoid like raising too early or just failing. I would do pre-sales, because the best way to validate whether or not you're building something that people want is if people are willing to pay for it. So
Mhm.
I would say it's identifying, okay, you know what you're building, you know the problem that it's solving, you know your target audience, you know how much you're going to charge, you have the research and kind of the rough understanding of how to go about building it. And if you want to know if you're building the right thing, I would go and reach out to the target audience. I would start selling it immediately. I think when you have your first customer, that is the best validation of like, this is, we're building something that people want. And then you go and build it, and then you not only have your first customer, you have money without backing to go and actually build the product, and
Mhm.
then you have the traction and the story to go to the investor to raise another round if you need it.
Yeah.
So that's how I would approach the whole thing. I know maybe in the health tech space it might be quite different, and it's like you can build a business out of $0 through this, and it
Mhm.
also saves you so much time, effort. So that's kind of what I would do as like such an early stage.
Yeah.
It is hard, but once you get your first paid customer, that's like, even though it might take a while, it's going to take is it going to take even longer if you go and build it first and then you go and find your customer?
And then they'll tell me, and then obviously even if they say that, it's not enough, so I need to validate it by interviewing more people, because different gynecologists will say different things. And yeah, that's my role.
What's your approach to, so how many people have you interviewed so far, and what's your approach?
Not a lot.
Do you go on and tell them like what you're doing in terms of you're building like a better version of a better test? Are you interested to sign up to the wait list?
So someone told me that in my emails I should add, we're looking for advisors, and I think I got a few more responses by doing that. So I do tell them a little bit about our project just to see if they're interested in being an advisor, and sometimes they are. So yeah.
Like what I just like, if I was going to reach out to all these people, I would number one leverage like, do you know anyone else I can talk to? I don't know if you say that for sure. Like, anyone else I can talk to, just try to talk to as many people. And then the second thing would be, you know, after the research stage, is like, okay, like, you know, if there was a better lateral flow test, what do you? I don't know if you. I'm just guessing because I don't work in the health tech space, but I would be, when it comes to research, I would probably ask like, you know, what do you think is missing when it comes to these lateral flow tests? How can it be better? And then direct the conversation to saying, oh, you know, by the way, I'm working at a startup and this is our goal. We're working towards building, you know, an upgraded version of a lateral flow test that's, you know, better when it comes to diagnosing cancer. Is this something that you'd be interested in the future? Like when we build out the MVP, can I reach out to you? So then, you know, you're doing your research. You're also in a way seeing if they're interested to follow up with you, because if they say yes, you know, once you've done it, like, let me know, and like I can give some more feedback, then that's like a good sign. So that's like the light version of validating the idea more, and then the extra version is like, you know, we're building this. We maybe in the later stage, like, you know, we're building this. It's going to cost, like, I don't know how much a lateral flow test is, and then if they say yes, then you know that you're onto something good. You know that you're onto a need, a problem that people are willing to pay for. Because at the end of the day, a business is not a business until you start making money.
Yeah, no, that's really useful. I guess my final question is if you have any roles like I could get involved with.
Me, I work in the AI, blockchain, fintech, gaming space mainly, but we also have partners when it comes to health tech. We have some just really cool stuff. So it all depends on does it make sense to work with the founders. But yeah, no, I'm happy to organize this. More so, I care about results. So if you both can get like actual results, like let's say you close a health tech deal, like for me, that would be like, oh yes.
I think my next question is, when do we start? Like,